they were really like, I'm gonna fuck this boy up. Looks like he thinks he's big. Oh, let me show you what strength is, boy. And they would fuck me up, right? When you're bigger in jiu-jitsu, just understand this, guys, because like quite a few people have been going and started jiu-jitsu. If you're fit and then you go into jiu-jitsu, that is all the more fuel for those grapplers to kick your ass. Mm-hmm. They will go a little harder on you because you're in shape. Take it. Trust me, it'll be okay. But as I developed that skill and I became proficient in it, and it became a thing that like I could like, yeah, I do jujitsu, and now I feel confident enough to say I'm pretty fucking good at it, right? That gave me a level of confidence because of that skill. I'm not out here teaching jujitsu, but an interesting thing is now people are asking me questions about how I do things with jujitsu. And that wasn't the intention. The intention was just for me to develop a skill that I was interested in. But now that skill is valuable to the marketplace, and I feel more confident because of it. I also feel more confident walking around. Oh, yeah. Not that I would ever go jujitsu anybody, or I'm not looking for a fight.
10 seconds.
But I do know that if somebody were to try to come up to me and start something, I would try to de-escalate. But if they really tried, I'm gonna take that ass. So, like, you know, build skills. And as a dude, as a guy, this is very important for your confidence level.
Yeah, I like how you were pointing out for Mark, you know, saying like he's not going to read something, but he's going to definitely still take in things and learn. Because a lot of people, like myself included, would be like, "Oh, I can't read, so I'm not going to worry about books." You know, it's like there's so many different options.
Yeah, I just go on YouTube and I look up the author, you know, and I look at him and he always has a
halfway
TED Talk,
there.
And I watch that.
There you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then as far as like jujitsu and stuff, like that's something I still want to explore, but I just got to get my back straight. Yeah. Get that in order. Like when laying down flat on your back hurts, like probably not a good idea to go roll around right now.
Yeah. And, you know, we were talking
10
about
seconds.
Like, how a lot of men are seeking things from like Bedros and Elliot, right? And I found that like I was lucky enough to be on like sports teams growing up. I played soccer in college a bit. And even like working out for a while was an individual endeavor. But when I came here to super training, it turned into another type of team. Like there were people around, right? I think there is like something that some men may be missing is just like a community of like other men. And that may be a reason why they're seeking some of these things. Now that I found jujitsu, like it's not just guys there, but there's something
halfway there
that when you're fighting another dude, or like in jujitsu or anything, but when you're sparring and fighting and grappling, there's something there that I think is valuable for men to do, and that I think will give them that will give them some type of level of physical confidence. Because
10 seconds.
There are guys in my jiu-jitsu class, like this guy Julian, he's a black belt, it's like 160. He's a fucking badass. He's one of my tougher roles because his technique is just so good. But he's confident as fuck. Okay, not because he has that skill, but also just like something about that physicality, that strength of physicality that he has. Even though he's not the biggest guy in the room, you can tell that dude's pretty fucking confident because of it. So that's very important to try to find.
I think a lot of these things are mimicking things that we probably have always done, you know, as humans. We probably,
halfway there.
You know, men would probably get together and go hunt. I mean, I'm just assuming. I don't know. You know, I think that women would be together doing different stuff. And I just think that that's kind of always been the way that it is. If you look at my son, he's been coming in here for the last 6 or so months.
10 seconds.
With some of his friends. And you look at like all the improvements they're all making, all the changes that their bodies are going through. Even our boy Owen getting in a lot better shape. Like I think he probably dropped 15 to 20 pounds of body fat. He also is gaining muscle at the same time because it's his first go of like lifting and working out and stuff like that. And they're making great progress, but they're also going through something similar together. They're also going through like a struggle. And where do we get struggle from today? You know, I had somebody more recently, a friend of mine, you know, asked me about losing weight, and they mentioned
halfway there.
They said, I've actually never done one thing in my life that was like difficult or challenging. That was just for me. I've been kind of handed everything.
How old is your friend?
Probably around 28 8 or so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So still fairly young, but
10
not
seconds.
super young, right? Like that's. But I commended them and just said, that's amazing that you recognize that. That's the first. That's kind of the first step. You recognize that your life has been very comfortable. Let's just say that. Not meaning that they never went through anything. Like everyone's gone through something. Everyone's gone through like breakups, and everyone's been like sad and mad and all these different things. But they were just referring to the fact that they never really had to do anything really that they felt was really difficult. And they never really did anything that they felt was like significant for themselves, which I later unpacked and found that
Halfway
wasn't actually
there.
true. It was just kind of a negative feeling that they had about themselves. But when you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to make those changes like that, these are things that you're going to have to face them yourself, and it can be very difficult. If you don't have confidence in yourself to do that, you're going to have
10
a really
seconds.
hard time. And then how much easier is it to have confidence when you're amongst peers, when you're amongst other men and dudes are jumping off a diving board, let's say you're going off or jumping off a cliff, jumping off a cliff and you're going 10 feet, like 10 feet doesn't sound that crazy. But it's something that I don't even recall if I've ever done before. If I saw a bunch of people going off 10 feet and it looked kind of safe, I would be like, fuck it. 20 feet, I doubt it. I'd probably be out. But it makes it right. It makes it easier. Like that's why you get together, you drink together, you
Halfway
get together.
there.
We do a lot of stuff together. It makes a lot of sense. It makes stuff easier. But in our case, and what we try to share here at Super Training is why not make it something that's really positive, something that can really be a benefit, not only a benefit, but can be a skill set, and it can be something you can lean into
10
in times of
seconds.
stress. If I'm stressed or if something really tragic happened in my life today, I would come to the gym tomorrow because I would want to see you guys and I'd want to be here and I'd want to train and try to, I don't know how much I would train, but I would be here and I would do something. Maybe I'd go punch the heavy bag or something. I'm not sure exactly what I would do, but in other cases, when my dad or when my brother died and when my mom died, that's immediately what I leaned into. I did a podcast that same day when my mom died.
Yeah.
I shot Andrew a message and I'm like, I'm going to do this podcast and it's going to be for my mom and I'm just going to talk because I feel
Halfway
like talking.
there.
But what a cool skill set to be able to lean into rather than like, hey, Andrew, like, man, today's brutal. I'm going to stay in bed. I think I'm going to go out tonight and get a couple drinks. And it's like, well, that could go sideways really fast. You need to be, not that
10
you don't
seconds.
deserve to do that. Like there can be occasions in your life where, fuck, man, maybe you should let her rip here and there, but you need to also be careful. I know that that's in my family, and my mother grew up with alcoholism in her family, and I'm like, well, that's the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to do something more positive, and I'm going to try to stay the course of the things that I like to do.
That's an incredible skill set and an awesome tool to have, because how many I don't want to sound like a dick, but like how many times do you go on like Facebook and somebody's starting another GoFundMe because something happened, or people are reaching out more than they are
Halfway
like, just
there.
willing to just kind of work through their own things, right? We talked about like antidepressants and all these things that are here because people don't have that skill set to kind of work it out on themselves. Like, so it's kind of like a superpower that, we're kind of
10
unveiling here,
seconds.
that like almost no matter what you go through, like having the ability to figure it out on your own, like not a lot of people have that. A lot of people are reaching for other things. They're reaching for alcohol. They're reaching for drugs. I like video games, but like, we had Rolo on talking about people are just being sedated playing video games too. And it's like,
You have self-control with that, man. You're not like out here
No.
an addict, sitting having Cheeto dust on your fucking
I was-
controller, and
No,
like that's
I know.
not you.
I was actually like, honestly, like I was kind of sad today because I didn't even realize like it's been over a month since I've played Halo.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, oh shit, it's been that long, and like I missed like an event and some nerdy shit, but
Halfway there.
I got the second Horizon Zero Dawn and Zero Dawn.
still in the
I've only-
wrapper.
I've only put in like 10 minutes in that game. Like it's so good. But I feel you on that.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
All these great games.
Yeah, self-control for sure. I got too much going on.
Yeah.
10 seconds. How's it going now? We like to look good in the gym and out of the gym. That's why you always see Mark and I and Andrew is stepping up on the short game, wearing shorts from Viore and clothes from Viore. And honestly, the number one compliment that I've seen, that I've gotten, and even Mark's gotten, is, damn, your butt looks good. And that's because, well, the clothes we wear make our booties look delicious. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, you guys both have pretty big wagons. You guys can head over to viori.com/power project. That's VUORI.com/power project to receive 20% off the most amazing apparel that looks so good inside and outside of the
Gonna
gym.
make your ass look
halfway
fat.
there.
And your
People
ass
like
will
that.
look fat. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. God damn it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Make your ass look fat.
One thing that I
10
was gonna
seconds.
mention here was a lot of these channels, right? Or a lot of these channels that teach men to be alpha, right? Or alpha males, and, you know, all these other guys that do this shit. You're a fucking beta male. Man, when I watch some of this shit, it's just kind of goofy, and the reason why I think it's goofy is just because like for example, Rollo mentioned money, muscles, game. Right? So the money is, you understand money, find a way to make some money, because as a guy, if you make money, well, a lot of women look at men not just for the way they look, but their resources. What do you have?
Halfway there.
Whatever. So making money, muscles, your fitness, your health. If you don't need to be big and jacked, you just need to look like a healthy individual. If you look healthy, you're going to be desirable. The game aspect of things is really interesting to me, because a lot of these guys, they have like pickup tactics, right? For going into settings.
10 seconds.
And picking up women. And like, and when I just hear some of the stuff they talk about, I'm just like, it's weird, because, you know, all you have to be able to do is just like have an interest in getting to know an individual. Yeah, there needs to be a way that you can stand out to this woman, but at the end of the day, if I've had conversations with other friends of mine about this, like, if you're actually just genuinely interested in learning about a woman that you're talking to, and just like learning what she's about, learning her interests, and you don't talk much about yourself, and you just let her talk about herself, and it's not even a tactic, it's just like, talk to her, let her talk about herself.
Halfway there.
That's gonna work. The amount of times that my friends have heard this, and I've heard women say, wow, I've never talked to somebody about myself so much before. Just because you're actually interested.
Nobody's ever asked me about my day and how it's going.
Like, seriously, just because
10 seconds.
I never talk, like when I was dating, I never really talked about myself. And my friends that have been successful in that realm too, because a lot of guys are like, it's because you're Tyrone, okay? You guys don't get that reference?
That was so funny.
You're Chad, I'm a Tyrone, apparently. A lot of my other
I'll
friends.
take it.
What would you be, a Juan? Like, what would you, I don't know.
Maybe.
Or Jorge? Or Antonio.
No.
Like Antonio Banderas.
Oh, maybe.
Would you be Antonio?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, Antonio
to make
Banderas
it
was a
up.
baddie. Anyway, but like a lot of my friends that have been really successful in dating
Halfway there.
without having to use game, like all they do is they just are interested in getting to know people. And with a lot of these alpha channels, it's weird too, because like when they talk about alpha males and the shit that alpha males do, like the guy that left the comment in Rollo's chat about in the Rollo episode.
I'm just
10
let me fuck
seconds.
things up real quick. I'm
Okay.
laughing because I looked up Mexican Chad.
What's his name? Like, what is
He
his
doesn't
name?
have one right now.
They just threw a hat on
He
him.
just-
Threw a sombrero on him and made him brown with a handlebar mustache.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
Oh,
I was
no, it's
laughing
fine.
Way too much. Sorry.
Someone left a comment about how alpha men don't negotiate with women.
Yeah.
It's just like, dog, it's fucking goofy. Like, you're weird. Like, what?
Weird.
Well, this whole thing doesn't have to be anti-women. It doesn't have to be against women.
No.
It doesn't have to be demeaning towards women. It doesn't have to
Halfway there.
do anything negative with females. It's just more positivity for men to lean into some masculinity, and how you define that's kind of up to you. You know, I know nowadays it can be, I don't know, people can make it out to be whatever way they want to make it out to be, but
10 seconds.
I have my own view of some of those things, and there are things that I think are important for me to do, and my wife has some things that she feels are important for her to do as a woman.
She's improving herself too.
Yeah, right.
Self-improvement. Right?
Absolutely. And what's wrong with working on just being an interesting person? Being an interesting person, being an attractive person. I'm not just talking about the looks. Imagine you're at a party and a girl is talking to a couple people, and she goes around the room and talks to a couple different people, getting introduced to different people from friends or something. And she stops on one guy and finds out that he's a singer. Interesting, right? Like that panty dropper. Yeah, right. Well, it's just it's different, right? Yeah, I lift, I bench a lot of weight.
10 seconds.
I eat a lot of protein and I fart a lot. It stinks up my couch in my room, you know. So it's just being a person of interest and being someone that is attractive, even being fun, even just being playful and like making up a name. Like, am I going to get anywhere with the name Mark? Like, it's going to be a little harder. So when I introduce myself to girls, I would always just call myself Smelly because it's a nickname. Hey. And I could go off of their reaction. And what that does is that they ask questions. They're like, what's the name? They automatically just think that you fart all the time, you know, but then you can have conversation about it.
Halfway
a name
there.
like Ensema is already like an interest. Oh, yeah.
Wait, what is this? I've seen this recently.
It's just so fucking funny. All I can think about is this is the guy telling the girl, like, I lift and, yep, I just squat bench dead.
What's he have, a beer in his hand or something?
Yeah, they're at a party, and she's just like, fuck, bro.
He's all short.
He's like, no, you don't get it. Like, yeah, I take trim.
Oh my God. This meme, I've seen it on so many things. Oh, so let me tell you about what women are supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what it's.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, what you were saying there, like, hey man, that's some game. That's some game. But also what you were saying is you focus on yourself. The weird thing about a lot of these channels, man, is that I like Rollo because Rollo hits you with statistics. Okay. Like he hits you with some just truths, and that's good. There's some times where I've seen some of his content where it's like there's a lot of focus on like what women are doing, and I get that, but I understand it. But when the audience sees some of this, as a man, when you understand certain things, what's that gonna? Does that help you become a better? Like, does that help you get better? Because even Rollo said he's not in the business of helping men become better men. I understand
10
that.
seconds.
He's just giving men some statistical truths. But with some of these channels, when they say like, oh, this is the way women are, and you can't trust this about women, and like all this type of shit, I'm just like, that's not helping you become a better dude. Maybe
you got
like
the same thing being preached on the other side from women. You can't trust men. All men are dogs. And it's like, I don't think any of that leads us to anything healthier. I do think it makes sense for both sides to be cautious and for both sides to have strategy and not just to fall in love with every single person that gives you a wink or gives you a kiss on the cheek or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Even though that can be hard because women can smell really good. They could have pretty hair. They give you a kiss on the cheek and it's over. You're like, I'm getting married. How do we sign me up?
Yeah, absolutely. And along with that, like when it comes to the red pill stuff, a lot of it's cool, but the red pill turns into, you'll see a lot of comments of dudes that are just like, just shitting on women. And at the end of the day, like,
10 seconds.
How does that help you become a better dude? Like, how does it help you improve in ways that's going to help you get a better skill set, make you more desirable, improve yourself so that you can be better, not for women, but when you're confident, you're just confident in yourself and what you're able to do. It's not all just for women. But then if you're trying to get women, that just becomes an easier process because you are now a better man. You remember that podcast we did in the old studio where we kind of talked about this and we just said, you guys got to level. We all as men, we should be in a constant state of leveling up. A lot of guys got angry at that. Like we're trying to level up too, yo. We're not just telling you to level up. We're trying to level up ourselves too. We're like, like I told this to what's her name, Hannah Eden, when I was on her podcast, and I realized it. She's like, "What's your end goal?" And my goal is to become the absolute best man that I can be, right? Because I feel like as I do that, I'm unlocking
10
certain
seconds.
skills with, we have different podcast guests, and then we're able to share that with our audience and help them become better as we're becoming better. And in our journey to all become the best men we can be, we're also helping other men become the best men they can be. That's it. It's a selfish endeavor, but it helps other people.
I don't know what it looks like from women because I'm not a woman, so I can't say. But from a guy's perspective, I think the thing that we end up admiring the most is when someone is extremely powerful, but they don't even use that power. They just don't even tap into it. They don't even fuck with it. They don't mess with it. They don't abuse it, certainly. It's like the guy that can just be cool. A girl could be drooling over him, but he's got somebody else.
Halfway there.
He recognizes it. He might think is whatever thoughts he's thinking, but he doesn't act on it. Like that shit's cool. Like that stuff is admirable to me. People that have money or people that have power outside of, or people that have power like in our society, and they don't use it. They don't abuse it. They don't need to. They feel comfortable. The guy who could kick someone's ass in a fight that has been training MMA for a long time. Somebody barks at him and he's just like
Looks at them.
yeah, just says, "Hey man, not today. I don't fight." Like the guy that just turns the other cheek. The guy could have completely slaughtered the guy. But there's a lot of cases where it just doesn't make any sense. Like that's not in some cases, somebody's so skilled at fighting to where it's not any different than like beating up a child.
Yeah.
Right?
Halfway there.
Like real talk. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but like, I think that most guys that are in your shoes, that's somebody would have to do something really wild, I would imagine, because you're like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
For
10
me to fuck with you
seconds.
because I do this every day.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. But you remind me of a quote from Jordan Peterson. He mentioned that something about like, Andrew, if you could find it, just type in Jordan Peter dangerous. It's going to pop up. But like, men have to have the ability to be dangerous or be dangerous, but not show it, like not use it, like not use the weapons that they have. Right. So like you may have certain skills that could be used for evil, that could be used to like do bad things, that could be dangerous, and you're a dangerous man, but you're not using that.
Halfway there.
For that, would you, if you found it?
Do dangerous things carefully.
Do dangerous things carefully, right? When you do dangerous, like honestly, lifting really, really heavy weights, is a dangerous thing. Do it carefully. Martial arts, very dangerous thing. Do it carefully. Business in some sense,
10 seconds.
dangerous thing. Do it carefully, right? We're just talking about getting certain skills, and that's why when we bring all these different people on the podcast, we're always trying to learn more. We're not all
Last
like,
round.
At least I'm not coming at it with like, this is what I know. I'm not doing that shit.
What's another panty dropper? Knowing a bunch of languages.
Oh, dog, and that's where
What skill? What skill? Like, I understand it's not easy. Like, I don't speak multiple languages. I barely can speak.